Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pimpin', aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the.
Oh, hey Ryan.
What is happening?
Hey, pre-show, I like to do 175 push-ups. I know it was off camera, but you're gonna have to take my word for it that that's exactly what I was doing. All right.
I thought that's what that noise was.
Yeah. I'm geared up. I'm ready to go. So what's up, everybody?
Shit.
Welcome to KBN Live. How you doing there, Ryan?
Well, better now. We'll say that. Oh, never a dull moment around here, pal.
My heart rate's up.
Mine is too, and I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah. Man, congrats on a comeback finish. I know you came off of Chick, pissed off, and you made it happen in a altered Santee Cooper event, man. Well done.
The good news is I haven't had any time to forget about it because every person that I see at every event has to remind me, whether it's at the Classic, at a restaurant, at the check-in for the next event. I'm glad everyone saw that. I'm glad. My face still hurts from falling on it, so thank you.
Yeah, no, but hey, you cash that check, Santee, little redemption, right?
Yep.
It's good
That
stuff.
helps. It helps get the monkey out. It's been since Broken Bow last year, so it's been a minute.
But and of course, our two guests tonight, we got Chad Walden and Vinny, the Commish, on. They cashed the big checks with the Slugfest that went down at the top of the leaderboard. 4 people over 100 inches, I believe. Unbelievable. So how was that to watch?
I mean, it's Santee. You kind of. Going into it, you know what's going to happen, right? And it could be anybody that time of year. You got post spawn fish. Some fish still moving up to spawn. I mean, the lake has a lot of giants in it. It's funny, though, to see kind of how temperamental it is and how boat pressure affects some areas. And I think we'll talk to these guys, but I think that's probably one of the keys is finding an area that has those bigger fish moving in and out, but is not going to just get pounded to death by boats and other kayakers.
Yeah, good stuff. We'll ask these guys how they overcame. And, of course, if you guys were paying attention, the event got changed from 2 days to 1. Because the weather ripped through Arkansas, tore up Little Rock, tore up some other parts of the country. Looked like it was coming y'all's way. So how did that affect everyone?
I mean, we knew the weather was coming. You know, pre-fishing was as usual. AJ reached out to some anglers on the water Friday, kind of discussing people's thoughts and feelings, and how he thought it would be received. And we fished in some sketchy stuff in the BOS series thus far. Chickamauga, the huge flood. Anybody that was part of that event, I mean, it was like literally a catastrophic flood. There were rock slides and trees washing down the creeks. I think like Dayton Boat Dock, like 30 feet of dock broke off and washed down the creek on folks. I don't think, and that's what I told AJ, I don't think that being too cautious is a bad thing. Like, it's one thing if it's just multiple tournaments and everybody's just kind of like at your own discretion. The Bass Boats tournaments are canceled. Vinny decided to move his tournament to Sunday already. I think, optics wise, if AJ did go ahead and allow the tournament to be on Saturday too, and something terrible happened, like that's a lot of weight. Like that wasn't a risk that I felt like was worth taking on, from my viewpoint. Did it turn out okay? Yeah, the weather wasn't that bad, but with the forecast that we had and the tornadoes and things that we saw coming across the southeast, I just felt like that was a safer call.
Yeah. How did y'all manage that? Was it weird sitting around on Saturday, just hanging out, doing your thing?
I slept till noon or so.
Got some good rest. That's good.
Got some good rest. We went up, had a little family dinner at this real cool kind of, I don't know, like it had to be like 1800s era restaurant out there. Came back, everybody got their stuff rigged up, packed up, threw cornhole, and just had a good night at the house. It was honestly, I liked it. I liked having an off day just to kind of relax and hang out with everybody.
That's awesome. Before we go any further, we got a few more news items to get to. We want to shout out our sponsors. Tonight, we're doing a Z-Man giveaway.
Yes.
So traditional giveaway like we do it on here, like and share. Or if you're on YouTube, comment where you're watching from and like the video, not just comment, but like and comment. And then on Facebook, like and share, and we'll do a Z-Man giveaway at the end of the night. Of course, Dugout Bait and Tackle, fresh off Expo Week a couple weeks ago. They had a huge showing there. Dugout's always got the deals, dugoutfishing.com. They got anything special going right now?
Trying to get everybody's kayaks rigged up, man. We've got a ton of kayaks. I mean, it's springtime. A lot of guys bringing their stuff in to get rigged up. Everybody's going with 2 units now, so get yours picked out. Lowrance or Garmin seems to be the most popular. I know Hummingbird's kind of actually gaining some ground right now with the Mega Live and stuff. So, get your order in, get it to Koza, and he will put that puzzle together. There's a lot of Pro Guide batteries going out of the dugout right now. I've been seeing a lot of posts on that. So if you want a super dependable battery that is sealed, I highly suggest you do some Google research and then get a Pro Guide.
That's right. Yeah. That was next on the list. Pro Guide batteries. I'm like you, Ryan. I've been seeing a lot of people with those on deck choosing Pro Guide. So the momentum's coming. Last but not least, of course, we do every other week we do a Revo giveaway. Appreciate the folks at Revo. I just got my Judes not long ago with the glass lenses. I've been rocking those polycarbonates, and I can't. It almost looks fake looking through those lenses out there in the bright sunshine. So
the glass is the way to go, Playboy.
Unbelievable tech. So appreciate all our sponsors. And we've got a brand new one to announce tonight, Ryan.
We do. And a little backstory, we've been with Western Sun since this thing got started, really, and they've been great, been a great partner to us. Unfortunately, there was a timing issue on when they got things submitted on the marketing budget this year. So we've kind of, held off a little bit, give things time to settle out. But, we like timely payments. So we opened the doors to other sponsorship opportunities. And one of my good friends, Brandon Being, he's a country singer. He owns a solar company in Florida and also launched a whiskey brand about 2 years ago. So welcome to the nation, Bangtail Whiskey. And we will start getting that out there. It's based out of Florida, a lot of distribution out of Florida. There's a huge presence in Nashville around the music scene. He's involved with a lot of the guys that I hang out with, a lot of the hunts that I go on. And I mean, he was all in, man. As soon as I mentioned it, he's like, I want in. So he's wanting to get out to the tournaments, set up a little booth, give out some samples, get you guys turned on to this thing. So thank you for the support and coming on board.
Yeah, stay tuned for more from Bangtail. We'll get some more info out on that, but awesome. So glad to have them on board. Indeed. From the free state of Texas to the free state of Florida now, Ryan.
That's right.
That's how we do, staying in the South. So there we go. Appreciate our sponsors. They make this happen for us. And, of course, we appreciate all you guys watching. As I already said, we're doing a Z-Man giveaway tonight. So like and share Facebook, comment and like on YouTube, and we'll do that later. Let's get back into the news, and we'll get these big winners in here. First up, I wanted to mention this. The Yak Bracket. The KBN Yak Bracket. We're into the final 4, Ryan.
Look at Nate. Look at Native holding it down, son. Up there fighting it out with the weed eaters.
Yeah. So there was 400 votes in each bracket in the Elite 8. A bunch of votes in the Elite 8. But every higher seed won. Native edged out Nucanoe. That was the tightest race there. And Jackson and Bonafide were a pretty tight race. Old Town and Hobie blew out their Elite 8 matchups, but the Final Fours, it's pretty legit, man. Kind of what you would expect almost, huh?
It is.
Yeah,
I think I can predict how this next round's going to go, but I think that final round's going to be a slugfest.
Yeah, I put this up on our page earlier today, and it's already got each matchup's already got almost 200 votes. So the votes are flying in on that. So we'll see how it goes.
I think Hobie is the LSU of this bracket, though. I'll say that.
Yeah,
probably going.
Who's the Iowa?
Probably that's definitely Old Town. by far, that's definitely Old Town.
And yeah, okay, there we go. What else did I want to get to? Let's see. Oh, there was something that came up I wanted to bring up from the audio podcast. We always appreciate our audio podcast listeners. And Ryan, we don't talk about them enough.
Hey,
but these are some comments from the audio podcast. Jason Cassidy gave us a 5-star rating.
Okay.
This guy's name, Cucumber Facial. It's kind of inappropriate.
Got to be Conrad.
Yeah. One of his favorite fishing podcasts, great interviews. And then over here, RJ Becker. It's his Tuesday podcast highlight. He listens every Tuesday during the workday because he can't watch us live. And then I didn't put the whole comment on here, but he suggested that we come up with a giveaway for the audio folks because there's thousands of them, literally, because they can't be here on Mondays. So we need to come up with something.
How would we do it on the timing part, though?
We'd have to do something with the like if they review, we put all the people that review in the last month or something.
Yeah.
We'll come up with something. We'll get with our people, our brain trust, and we'll come up with something, right?
Yeah. We got them. We got brains out there somewhere.
Yeah. Our brain trust. And then the last thing I wanted to go over is, I thought I had the graphic of that, but I don't. We put a post on the group page about that. Some folks that got banned from up in the Northeast, Ryan. Mm-hmm. That got a little traction on the page there, and I don't know the exact details on it other than they put like violation of subsection 26B-7 on there.
Can't speak out in public, rule number 73.
Yeah, I'd like to know more details on that, but I don't. What do you think about clubs banning for folks voicing their opinions? Does there have to be more? I mean,
that we saw that about what 8 years ago. It doesn't work. True. Why I don't understand why you would ban somebody from fishing your club if they just express an opinion about your club or that partner organization or whatever. Like, just if run things like an efficient business, and you don't have to worry about people being mad.
Yeah. So you're always welcome on KBN. So come over there and share your opinions. Actually, frankly, that's why we exist, is because we did that years ago. So silver lining.
Yep.
To whoever you were that were banned. With that said, man, let's get these big winners in here.
Let's do it.
These top finishers. Hang on just a second. There they are. Chad, Vinny.
Hey, was that
welcome
you?
to the show.
What's up, boys?
Good.
Or should I say welcome back, Vinny? It wasn't too long.
Hey, I'm here as an angler this time. That's
right.
That's different. That's like a whole nother guy.
Well, we had you on to talk about the native series. We were going to talk to Chad about the tournament. So
got it. Yeah, well, I
Dang, oh man, you cracked 100 again, Vinny. I had to bring you on. Hell, can't ignore that.
Appreciate it.
Chad, how does it feel? Sir. How did you wake up this morning?
On a pile of money.
I went to work.
Okay, all right. So you haven't quit yet. You're not a PKA yet.
No, I'll never be. I don't do this for the money. I don't do this for the sponsorship. I do this to beat everybody out there when I fish with them.
Hey, okay.
I like that for the brotherhood.
Yeah. It worked.
Yeah, I wanna be.
Uh-oh. Damn.
Is it Chad?
Come back, Chad.
Come back to us, Chad.
Do I need to go? I'll check. Might need to close the computer.
You're all right, man. You're all right. We've been here before. It's okay.
How about that? That better?
That's good.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But no, this is fun. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Did you think you were going to win it going into the event?
I was on pretty good fish. I wish I would like to see where I was at on 2 days.
Oh, the area that you found, is it somewhere you had history with, or was this something kind of brand new that you stumbled on?
No, so I went. My buddy was meeting me at the ramp Wednesday morning, and he was late, and so I pull up in this area, and I'm casting, and I'm watching my my live scope, and I'm casting, and another buddy pulls up, Mr. Larry Wood, which is a very respectful fisherman. He's just sitting there waiting on me. And he says, he asked me about going somewhere. And I said, we're going there in just a minute. And he said, okay, I'll wait. Well, he was just sitting there. He wouldn't cast. He was being sober. He said, I don't want to cast. And I said, buddy, you need to throw in front of you right now. Right now, you need to throw in front of you. He casts out there, catches a 23 3/4.
Whoa.
Yeah, 23 3/4. And I said,
how did you know that fish was there, Chad?
Oh, live scope, buddy.
Oh.
So you're scoping for the boys.
Yeah. So perspective mode on Santee is the ticket, buddy. So so then we went and checked a couple spots. It was actually where Russ ended up at, and I actually stuck a 22 and a 19. And then we pulled out of there, went 2 more miles away, checked and caught a few more. And then we went back, and I said, I want to know if these fish are going to be here in the afternoon. Stuck one, and I said, I got to make sure it's not luck. Stuck another one, and we left. You know what I mean? Because you can get lucky on a spot. You know what I mean? So I generally do not.
Believe me, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So I went back and stayed there and went and fished somewhere else on Thursday with my buddy Mike, which he had a good practice. He was going to be able to be in Vinny's event, but he wasn't able to. He's a preacher, so he had to work on Sunday. He puts a TikTok video out on Saturday, and I messaged him. I said, "What are you doing?" And he calls me. He says, "You ain't got TikTok." I said, "I do, but I don't. But people send me the videos. Nobody knows." And so he gets off the phone, and he goes rambling on, and he's going off about he's not tournament fishing. It's no fun. He said, I can't enjoy this no more. This, that, and the other. This TikTok, I'm going to delete my TikTok. And he goes on. We're going on for like 30 minutes. My wife tells me, when I pass away, those fish aren't going to be there, but Mike's going to be there. She said, you need to lighten up a little bit. And so I'm beat up, man, because I care about my buddies, and I got a big heart. And so I'm all upset. And all of a sudden, he sends me this video, says, "April Fool's, dummy. You think I'm going to sell my fishing crap?"
Oh man.
He did delete the TikTok video until it's back up now, but he deleted his TikTok so nobody could see it. So
he TikToked on your spot? Is that what's happening?
It was his spot, but it was kind of like what I was doing. So
okay, I got you.
It was some debates, so
yeah, if you could tag me in that TikTok would be awesome.
No, check it out. Fishing with Dummies, he's pretty good, man. It's got some good stuff. Fishing with Dummies on TikTok, man. We have a good time, so yeah, so hit that one up and check it out. So, but yeah, my wife said he's an evil preacher.
He is.
Vinny, I feel like your event was much more predictable. You did the same thing you did on day 2 last year, right?
Yes. Thank you for having me. Have a great night. So, I mean, yeah, obviously I stumbled on something great last year. It's a spot that, a lot of people probably have been around and seen and think it should produce, but I think I'm doing something a little bit different than a lot of people are. And it's not a spot that always produces. I checked it when I fished for the South Carolina State Championship with BASS, and they weren't there. So I didn't get a chance to fish it. And then a month later, a buddy of mine rolled up on it and sent me a picture. And he was like, "Is this the juice?" And I said, "That's the juice." And he's like, "Bro, they're in here crazy." And he ended up catching like 88 inches for a Queen City event. So, it's not something that is guaranteed.
Which is 4 fish, correct?
4 fish for Queen City.
Just so everybody knows, like they're not like 88 inches. Psh. Yeah, 88 inches on 4 fish.
Yeah. So, it's a magical spot. I don't know how else to describe it. When I found it, you guys know I put up 105.25 last year on Sunday. I had a bad Saturday, 59 inches. So I landed 10th place, which, after 59 inches, I was ecstatic about. If you tell me I was only going to get 10th on the way into the tournament, I would have been upset. But after 59, I was good with it. So this year, all year, I'm like, all right, well, this is it. This is where I'm going. I really got a shot at winning this tournament. And I talked to anglers and they found it. And I was like, well, if I can't win the race there, I'm not going to get to fish the spot. And I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. I fished with Nate Conley. Him and I shared water. Matthew and I, Matt Sandifer, we shared water. And like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing different, but there's something, because I was able to break 100 and they both skunked right in front of me. So that's
crazy. Number 1. But number 2, what you're doing it's not like a traditional, like when you think of Santee Cooper, you think of running around in 3 feet of water, throwing shit at cypress trees, right? You're on something completely different than that, correct? And you elaborate as much as you want to, but just explain like that's not what you're that's not what you're doing. You're not covering water, hitting trees all day.
No, so I'll be honest with you. If I could avoid hitting cypress trees every time I went to Santee, I would never hit another cypress tree in my life. I don't like that style of fishing. I love throwing a jackhammer and a spinnerbait and a frog and all that. I'm a power fisherman by nature, but it's so hard, in my opinion, to put a pattern together on a Santee, on a Caddo, because how many days do you go and they're really on the isolated tree or the last tree? It's usually just, I made 7,000 casts.
It's usually just in pre-fishing is when they're really
makes for good pre-fishing photo ops.
So I just always find it's 8 hours of hitting 1,000 trees and you hope you get 5 bites. And I don't care to do that. And if you listen to some of the big names yesterday, they found patches of eelgrass or they were on bedding fish. So I think a lot of big money came not fishing the trees, even though everybody thinks that's what we have to do. I won a tournament. It's this trophy right here on Santee, handful of years ago. I don't even know what year, but it was I caught everything on a frog, so no cypress trees. I've cashed checks before, no cypress trees. So I'm on a transitional area. I think I would describe it as. I think all of my fish were pre-spawners. I know last year for a fact they were pre-spawners. Yeah. So, I went and practiced it Thursday. I made 2 casts and I had 41 inches, and that's all I cared to find out. And I was going to go there, whether I was going to skunk or catch 100. I told my wife it'll be 0 or hero. There'll be no in between. And I was right. They were there. I had 4 fish pretty quick. One of them was a 14-incher. So in my mind, I really only had 3 fish because I know you're not getting a check with 14-incher and Hobie. So I knew I needed 2 more. I knew I needed to break the century mark. And then when I hit 101, I had no service. So somehow a text message went through to AJ, and I was like, hey, dude, I'm over 100, but I can't submit. And I told him the same
I've got 100. Will you put it on the board for me real quick?
I just, as a director, you don't want to see 101 and 103 come in the last 30 minutes. And that's pretty much what happened. Luckily, Steve Fields rolled up on me, said he was going to Photoshop a Hobie into all my pictures. And he let me hotspot so I can get my fish up on the leaderboard. And then when I got my fish up on the leaderboard, I lost service again, obviously. But apparently my phone blew up because I had jumped right up there with Russ. And everybody was like, catch that big one, finish this off. And I got one late cull. Well, I'm sorry. My latest cull was at 11:30. That was actually my last fish at 11:30. So,
Chad, what about you? Because everybody was kind of watching. I wasn't, but I had a lot of messages and stuff coming through. Like, is Vinny holding back? Is he going to knock off for us? And then you just came swooping in out of left field and kicked them both in the teeth.
I had no service. I couldn't even see the leaderboard. I had no idea where I was standing. I know. So I got DQ'd. My dad DQ'd me from Tuesday night tournament. I asked him tonight how many pounds I had. I had 26 pounds and he had 24. He DQ'd me. He was running Tuesday night trail. This 6-7 years ago. And he doesn't run the trail anymore because it was too much, with the boat business and everything else. And it was he rode by me where I was sitting. I was sitting on this bridge throwing a crankbait and under this light. And it's a well-known hole it's a community hole on Lake Murray. So he rode by me. He said, "Son, you need to go ahead and go." But he said, "I think I got you though." And when he did, that got in my head. And I had one. I think I had a 3 or 4 pounder I was trying to get rid of. And I was trying, and so I was like, I said, I got this. Everything's working fine. I cast out there and then I look at the time. And so I went over there and I turned the key, click, 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 click. And so finally this other boat come by. I tried to jump in the boat. I called my dad. He sent a buddy of his. I jumped in that boat, ran all the way back and didn't make it in time. And they were like, "Are you really going to DQ your son?" My dad's not a gray area, right or wrong. He said, "Yeah, I DQ you." And so I left 20, 30 minutes early. So I jumped in my car. Dustin Huggs was at the boat ramp. He's grabbing all my stuff. There was 2 guys sitting there watching me. They came in and was watching me on my last fish. I had like 3 or 4 boats with me. And when I hollered at 2:00, they were hooping and hollering because they seen the fish. It was coming up and I'm yelling, "Stay down, stay down, stay down." And I get it in the boat. I knew that it was special, but I didn't know it was that special. So awesome. I ran to Stump Hole Landing. I hauled butt to Stump Hole Landing, which is where I stayed. in the restaurant there. I didn't know it was closed on Sundays, but luckily they were cleaning in there. So I'm banging on the door, and they finally come in. And so it's a real good friend of my family's where we stay. And it was actually my old ball coach in Florida that used to coach me, that we stay in his camper, and he's real good friends with the owner. And I'm banging on the back door. They come open it. It's like, I got to have your Wi-Fi. And I said, I need a pen and paper and your Wi-Fi. And so we got the Wi-Fi. I got it all in. I called Blaine, the director of the co-commish of Queen City. And I said, hey, bud, I'm just making sure because I'm about to leave this area. I won't have no more service. I said, can you check? He says, your fish look good. I got to go. I can't talk to you. And like, I knew at that point, he did not want to sabotage. Out. I was like starting to get nervous. Like, where could I land? On the way to the
I made the worst phone call ever. I should have never called.
Yeah, on the way to the weigh-in, I think Vinny, you called me or I called you?
I called you because I knew we were both on fish.
He said, were you get them? And I said, yeah. I said, what'd you get? He said, no, what'd you get? I said, no. I said, what'd you get? He said, 101. I said, I got 103 1/4. Said, dude, you could hear the wind. Like, he was so happy about his 101. But it was like somebody just popped a balloon because he says, you just knocked me out of TOC. And I was like, really? Because I'm still at this point, I didn't even check you can't check the standings at 3:00. You know what I mean? So at 3:30. And so, but I'll tell you, Vinny was a class act because I was on a spot and I talked to him, and he was, for some reason, it was like perfect time. And like, this whole came together because of, it was one of those deals meant to be. I hate when people say that, but it was true. I was on the phone, called him on when he was practicing. Was that Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
Thursday. I called him and I said, hey, bud, I said, how's it going? He said, they're there. I hear him loading his stuff up. And he said something about making a move to, was that Matt? Was that the boat ramp or somebody? Yeah. He said, you go back to the house. And I said, Vinny, don't go there. And and he's like, what are you talking about? And we had no idea anything. I was like, Matt, I said, Vinny, don't go there. And then he said the ramp, and I said, yes, please don't go there. And he says, okay. And he didn't go there, so he didn't touch them. Mr. Larry never went back there to touch the fish. I sat in a little area. Couple kayaks coming up. The 2 weeks before Vinny's event, my buddy Mike with the Fishing with Dummies, he ended up in second, and we could talk in Vinny's, and Vinny wants camaraderie. We like to joke around and call and talk to each other. And he's a power fisherman. He wants to power fish all. And I was like, come out here. They're on a point. They're on a shaky head. I said, and so I got up. I was pretty decent, sitting in the standings, and I was only catching 14s and 15s, and I couldn't call them. So I was like, come, Mike, come over here and sit on this. I left it. He goes over there and sticks a 19. And all I could say is I was sitting where I was sitting and going in that area. And there was people coming around, and then they would just go on because they knew I wasn't leaving. And all I could think is, if I leave, they're going to stick the bigger fish because Mike's come back and stuck. He got second place in that tournament. I think I ended up, 12th or 8th? I think 8th in that tournament. So. Yeah.
So I was gonna hit your area 100% spot on right where you were sitting.
Yeah. He was.
After last year, I had this like sick feeling of like something's gonna change. These fish are gonna vanish. There's no way I'm doing this again. I gotta have a B plan. So the area I was looking at was pretty similar to what I was doing, and I think me and Chad pretty much wanted on the same type of fish. Chad told me he was on 16 to 18 inch fish. So I realized he's a damn liar and doesn't know how to So I figured Chad would have high 90s. So when I had 101, I was like, oh, I got Chad. I never caught Russ. So I'm in second. Somebody's got 105. They're going to win the tournament. So I'll fall. Yeah,
I mean, I didn't think 103 was going to win. I thought
so is that what you
105 to 108. Honestly,
is that what you meant by that, Vinny? You thought you got knocked out of the top three by what Chad?
Yeah, knocked out the top three.
For the last 3 years, I've chased the TOC based on points. Like I can be real with myself. I know I'm not of the caliber of some of these anglers running around. And for me, it's a point thing. I'm a pretty consistent angler, but I'm not. It's really hard for me to get up in that, this spot. So for me, it was, this was TOC or bust. I don't have 6 events this year. I have 2. I'm going to Santee and I'm going to West Virginia. Chances are I'm not going to beat Ewing, Nolan, and Jody Queen on their home river. So I was like, I'm not going to TOC there. So this is it. And somebody was like, oh, you'll have a good event. You'll get points. And I was like, I don't care about the points. It's top 3 or bust. I want to go to Chick. And when he tells me that,
don't say that in November. Yeah,
well,
call me in November and tell me you want to go to Chick.
I got some juice. I got some juice on Chick.
Oh hell, I'll bring you a beer.
So, but anyway, yeah. So I had a really sick feeling, and I know what Santee has. So it's hard to believe, like when you see the leaderboard once at 1 o'clock when you can upload that 102 is even going to hold, and then So and then I couldn't check it, and then I get this phone call at 3:33 that one of my fish is denied. So I go from 101 to 80, and I'm like, what? And he's like, it's cracking up, Santee service. Like, your fish is denied. You better find service. And I'm like, what the hell? So I did hope there's no cops watching. I was doing 78 miles an hour down the back road. That's probably a 45, watching the bars on my Android Auto. And when it finally hit 3, I pulled off in the grass, and I threw so it was a dual submission. In my rushing with Steve and Hotspot, I put the same fish in twice. So it got denied. It was a 27.5, but I knew I had a 20.5. So I threw off in the grass, and I got that 20.5 up, and I called AJ. I was like, I'm going to lose service again. Am I good? And he's like, it's good. So I was like, it was stressful, man. And then
Vinny, I was going to tell you, I don't know if you know that rule 38/B, if you violate a traffic law during the tournament, you're out. So you just said that here.
No, that was after the tournament. That was
he self-reported. He self-reported. It's cool.
Oh,
it's fine if you self-report.
All right.
Yeah. So when we got up on stage, I didn't even really think I was going to be top 5. So I was sitting there, and I was like, he's calling 5 anglers at a time. And I'm like, oh my God. And he calls that second batch, and I don't hear my name. And I'm like, okay, I'm in the top 5. And I was like, when they said the first one, it was still in the 90s. And I was like, well, maybe I got a chance. And I think the guy who got 4th was named Nick. I don't know him. I hit him with an elbow, and I said real quiet, I was like, did you call? Just like that. Did you call? And he shook his head. If you look back at the video, he shook his head no, and I looked at Chad, and I was like, oh, man.
He's in. He's in. Bo, he was, and then he went, and then he melted.
Well, I melted. Well, it was numerous things all at once. My buddy up on stage.
I know.
My buddy up on stage, and then
missing your daughter's ball game.
I missed 7 ball games this weekend of the team that I coach.
Huge.
My buddy.
I wouldn't be able to. That's why my wife's let me do it now until Story dances. My daughter dances, and then once she gets into competition, or if she does, or she likes golf, she likes fishing. I won't be doing it. But once she doesn't like me no more and doesn't want to be around, my wife said go as much as you want. So. I mean,
it's funny. I slowed down this year, and I text Mary today. I said, I got to make 3 trips to Chick before November.
Yeah.
I don't know the lake like Ryan does, so I got to go find some juice.
Ryan don't know shit about Chick anyway. It don't matter. I don't know the lake like Ryan does.
So the other stressful thing, you guys mentioned the weather on the intro. Dude, that had so much to do with my planning. Like, I didn't know if I could even get where I wanted to be in 40-mile-an-hour winds. Never mind fish it the way I fish it. So I made the call for Queen City. I had to make the call, and most of the guys were in town anyway, and 50 of them were in the BOS event. So it was like, AJ, I'm just doing it, brother. I'm just going to lay it. We're going to fish Sunday, and whatever you do, if you say we're fishing, we'll go fishing. But my guys are going to fish Sunday. And he was like, that's a good call. We'll figure it all out later. So it all worked out. I do think if it was a 2-day, I would have been just fine. But that's, I think those fish are there and they live there, and I don't think I would have had a problem. But I'll take 3rd, no problem. I'm good with it.
Speaking of the 1-day versus 2-day, obviously we talked before we brought you guys on when we first went live.
Yeah.
How that altered people's game plans, probably. We didn't know how that was going to go down, but it was all chips on the table. No saving fish, no managing fish, just going for it there on 1 day. And with you guys running simultaneous events with 4 fish, this happened. So Russ and Chad tied for first in the Queen City event, and Russ won that. So I want to know, did you know what he was holding before the final announcement for the BOS event? Or did you guys kind of wait on the drama there to see who won the BOS?
Dude, nobody had service. I didn't even know who won my tournament.
I mean, did you guys talk at the BOS?
Like, did you have it figured out at your way in what was about to happen at the?
No, Russ looked at me. Russ looked at me and says, "You got me on the Hobie side," and I said, "We'll see, buddy."
So y'all didn't.
I knew I
reveal
had another 20. I didn't know what his other one was.
Yeah.
so
you didn't know.
Well,
he had-
but
I didn't know. I had no idea. I didn't want to know. Honestly, I think it's funner like that. The experience. I mean, hell, how many times you get to do that? I mean, I might be a one-hit wonder. I mean,
You are a
honestly,
one-hit wonder.
you know, right now,
Lord,
You are.
you sound like Nick Huddleston out here, a one-trick Nick.
Yeah, hey, I mean, we're gonna see. I'm gonna give it a go and not be, but we're gonna.
Hey, so we got a Hobie trophy with Chad. We got what was the native trophy with Nick? I guess I'll just have to snatch up this blue one on the 15th.
Oh boy!
Well, watch yourself. Watch yourself.
Oh boy!
I ain't worried about you out there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm excited though, for real.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good time. So, yeah, I mean, my dad told me how to win this tournament.
Yeah, usually.
He gave me the way to win this tournament. He called me up and said, I got the way you can win it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, I know how you can win it. And he goes on and on and on. My dad gives me hell all the time. He says, all you have to do is catch 5 bigger fish than everybody else.
He's right. He's absolutely right. So I heard you during the awards. What were you doing? I mean, obviously Vinny was on some slightly different approach type stuff. What were you doing to catch your fish? Because what you referenced in awards was basically throwing a chatterbait at one stump all day. Like how accurate was that description of your day?
I was fishing this little area, and I had boats around me all day. And every time them boats come by with a blaring radio, I knew I was about to get hit or catch a fish. And they would turn it down. I was like, nah, turn that up.
The fish like the music, or what do you think it is?
Do what? Say that again.
The fish like the music? What do you think it was?
No, I think it moved the bait around in there, and then they got active.
Exactly what happened. So, like I said, Chad and I were doing the same kind of deal. If the boat came by, you'd catch a fish. It was that. If you
really,
I had to slow roll what I was doing, and I said it. I was throwing a spinner bait and a chatterbait, and I'm talking about if it wasn't dragging the bottom. So I was about 9 foot of water. So go find it.
Relatively deep for Santee, though.
Yeah, relatively deep.
So Chad, let me ask you a question. Can I ask a question, boys?
I think so. Yeah.
Chad, when did you when was your last fish? Were you catching them all day, like 11:30?
No. 2:01 was my last one. I had a spurt between 11:30 to 2:01, but I did. I don't like to say it on stage, and I would have never said it in Vinny's podcast. I hate when somebody gets up there and says they lost one, because it kind of says, "Oh, I would have beat you if I'd have caught that one." You know what? Well, I had one at the beginning of the day that I would have that shouldn't have gotten my net. That it flopped around. I flailed like a little idiot and not knowing what the hell I was doing out there, and got in the net that shouldn't have. So. But what kept me there is I did break off 2, but I would have never said that in the why it was Russ's moment on Queen City. And I had one that had her way with me. She come up and did the underwater head roll, and when she realized that she was hooked, she took off. And I did the kiss of death for me is I thumbed my reel, my bait caster, and yow, it popped. And I knew at that moment, I knew I fucked up. Messed up. Sorry.
Okay. Don't worry. Welcome to KBN.
Welcome to KBN.
Yeah.
That doesn't usually curse.
But I like it.
I don't. But that's what I felt like. Yeah, and then when I lost that one, because I was like, well, this sucks. But I stayed there, and there was other anglers around me, and they kept trying to funnel in, and they were trying to watch what I was doing. They were coming in, but none of them came on top of me. But man, the boat guy, everybody in the boat come by hooping and hollering. They were having a good time. A couple guys asked me if I wanted a beer, and I was like, no. I said, but afterwards, and the guys when I pulled up, they were like, you ready for that beer? I said, man, I wish I could. I said, I got to go.
Yeah, definitely would have cracked that one after at 3:01. I'd say, throw it to me, baby.
No, I was on the road. I was squealing up there. And I heard as I'm pulling off, and it was like Dustin was talking to him, and he's like, Dustin said he's got a good bag, he's got to go. So,
hey Jeff, can you pull up my times? I'm curious what my times were on captured, submitted, whatever you're just looking at.
Oh,
I know I had 4 really quick.
Here, let me hover over that.
Scroll over it. No, right above the number.
There we go. 12:52.
Okay. No, submitted though. That's
3:38. These are submitted. 10 a.m., 8 a.m., 9:38 a.m., 11:37 a.m., 7:06 a.m.
Okay, 7:06.
7:06. That's fairly
not a
early.
bad start right there.
Yeah, I didn't catch my fish first fish. What was
9:10.
What were they? The what?
9:10 for you.
Yeah, 9:10.
9:10.
So I sat there and
sandbagged until 3:11.
Yeah, there wasn't no sandbag. I couldn't even pull up the standings to see what I was even going for, like if I even had a chance, or if 108 was up there. So all I heard is Nate Conley hit 108 in practice, and I'm thinking that's the number.
It was like 106 or something, wasn't it? It was up there.
I thought it was 108. I was wrong. It was grapevine how that stretches.
So Nate and I, funny story, last year on day 2, myself and David Cottrell and Abel Patino, we were fishing this slough just literally right next to the cabin where we stayed because we were out of contention. We're like, hell, we'll just go mess around here. Well, we're in this slough and I catch a fish pretty quick. Well, the camera boat's coming in. And I'm like, hell, I'm in 120th place. Like, what are they coming in here for? This 17-inch fish. Well, Steve comes over and talks to us for a minute and then motors over to the other side of the slough. And I was like, we're 15 minutes into this tournament and this guy's obviously he's going to whoever's in first. So we stay away, big circle, give him wide berth or whatever, because none of us were in contention. Well, get back to the ramp. And it's Nate, and that's where I first met Nate, was at that ramp. So we talk, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I caught some good ones on back in the back. He's coming back this year. I'm like, hey, man, I'm going back to where I caught him in the back end of the slough. And he's like, yeah, I'll probably hit this area or whatever. I went and pre-fished it Thursday, caught a couple good fish. There was only one other angler in there. And I'm like, yes, this is awesome. We got one more guy that's going to be in here. Nate's going to fish there. I'm going to fish over here. I talked to Nate. After he wrecked, he sent me all the pictures Thursday, and he's like, oh, I wrecked him pre-fishing. And I was like, so are you going to be fishing here or what? And he's like, well, I may fish there day 1 and this spot day 2. Okay, cool, whatever. Well, they canceled day 1. So we hung out Friday night, and he's like, I'm not going to be in there. I'm like, awesome. Like I've got 2 areas to work in this slough. So I try to catch a fish in Nate's area, and I don't get one freaking bite there all morning long. And I was so pissed off. And there were like 11 kayaks and a bunch of boats in there. I go catch a few back where I caught them the year before and leave. And I'm watching the leaderboard, and I know, obviously, I know that you and him are fishing the same area because he's not, in his B spot. I'm like, he's not here, so he must have gone up there. So I didn't know if he didn't have service or what. Like, I saw your numbers come up, and I'm like, is Nate sandbagging or what's going on? Like, that, to me, that was going to be the dramatic end, right? Like, is Nate fish next to Vinny and put up 102 inches or 105 inches or what? That was the big question mark in my mind going into the awards part there.
I've had this conversation actually with Chad and with numerous anglers. And again, I'll say it again, I'm not going to be up here and think I'm on the caliber of some of these anglers, but you put an A-rig in my hand in the winter and I'll take anglers fishing and I'll give them the exact setup and show them exactly what I'm doing, tell them exactly how to do it. And for whatever reason, I usually beat them like 5-1, 6-1 on an A-rig. And like,
hell with that stupid A-rig he throws.
But I just don't know what it is. Like, what am I doing that's slightly different that I don't even just natural, right? What am I doing? Well, I think a lot of that same stuff transferred over into this area. And I had a little bit of experience from last year. And then I think I just had a little bit of luck on my side. There's a key factor where we were fishing, and that factor was not as prevalent as it was on Thursday, and it was not as prevalent as it was on Sunday last year. But I figured that out pretty quick, and I think that's what helped me catch my last 2 fish. I found baby perch and I found white bass, which was ridiculous to me. I'd never caught those there. And once I found those, I moved and I stuck the 2 later fish that are up on that Jeff just scanned over. So it was just little things. It was nothing, extremely skillful. Maybe my setup was a little different. I don't know, man, but I felt bad for Nate because, we both found it. I knew he was going to beat me there. We agreed to fish together. He handled it like a pro that he is, like I said, up on stage. I gave him my bait. I had 101. I gave him my damn bait. He didn't ask because he's not allowed, and he never would. I know he wouldn't. I pedaled up next to him, and I dropped the damn bait, and I pedaled away, and I was like, here. And he did catch a big one on it. His biggest one came on it, which was cool. And, you know, it's like I said it at the ramp in the morning when we were all hanging out, like getting to know people from across the country and then getting to share water with people in a friendly environment when there's $8,000, $9,000 on the line. Like, there's nothing like it, man. It really is cool. I enjoy that aspect of this sport. And I did appreciate him. I appreciate the couple other people who found those fish and weren't there for whatever reason. And overall, you know, a little bit of luck was on my side, I guess.
Yeah. And you know, I wanted to mention this. We didn't really talk about it getting started here. Early on, it looked like Russ was going to run away with this. And, you know, you guys finished first and third. Russ, we want to, you know, give him the respect he deserves for finishing second in this, coming right off the Bass Championship. So well done, Mr. Snyders. Do you guys, I'm going to ask you both to speculate a little bit. Do you both think it would have held up for 2 days? Chad, you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
You wish you could have seen what it would have done over 2 days.
I mean, I'm blessed and thankful that it was a 1 day and I wanted, you know, but I want to know what those numbers, because they were there on Thursday. The only thing difference, they moved a little bit on me, and that's why it took me 2 hours to find them. They moved a little bit, and then when I found them, you know, they started coming in. I mean, I didn't get the cold, but I probably had some 19s and 18s that never got put in. Because, you know, I didn't have service. So they were there. They were there Wednesday. My buddy rode over the spot on Thursday with a side scan for me. He took a picture of it, said, "Your Nike swooshes are there," and sent it to me, and I said, "Awesome." And he didn't cast Jim, you know, and Jim actually fished where Russ fished, and watched Russ. He said Russ is the machine. He said it was unbelievable watching that man fish and catch the fish. He said he'd skip over an area and go to another area. He'd stop. He'd skip 5 or 6 trees or a bank or whatnot. Then he'd cast and he'd catch a fish. And he said he knew not to fish that other areas. And here I am fishing every one of them, you know. So, and he caught fish. I think he said he caught 15 fish, but he was catching the bucks and Russ was catching the females. So, and all my fish were coming and going. So I had pre-spawn and post-spawn fish. So
it's funny, you know, talking about respect on the water. I know that Christine and Guillermo had a run-in with a bass boater on the water, and apparently they were fishing the same area. I guess Christine came in like behind the guy, and he was offended that they were even on this giant flat or whatever, and made a comment to another bass boater, "You need to go run over those effing kayakers," or something like that. So the guy rolls back up on them fun fishing today and has another confrontation on the water about them being there yesterday. I don't understand the mentality. And you think about Southern hospitality or whatever. I don't know where these guys get off on like just talking down to people. Number one, fishing in the same public body of water as you, but number two, like to roll up on somebody in a kayak and just start talking trash for no reason at all. Like I don't really agree with that, and I think that's probably one of the the more I don't know, surprising stories of the weekend that came out of it. Now I don't know if she'll put out the YouTube video or not, but I mean it was pretty wild to see. And it's a local dude. He was fishing a tournament, and I think he won like
I'll put it over there.
$500 for 5th place or something. And he was talking trash like, "I bet we're fishing for more money than y'all are." Well, actually, Scooter, you're not. You're fishing for 23rd place actually. So
so add a third factor to that, right? A female. So now you're a big whatever you are on a boat, and you're cursing out a female, and obviously, you know, she's gonna hold her own against the best. But Jesus Christ, I mean, come on,
cool
man.
guy,
you know,
real cool guy.
Yeah, so unnecessary.
I think that's when you take a picture of his VIN numbers and you blow him up.
Oh, they got his name.
He's he's luckily. So this is one thing that is a huge advantage to running a GoPro all the time is you have the entire interaction. There's no, he said, she said, there's no off-camera shenanigans. Like it's exactly what happened on camera.
I think she runs the videos without making a comment.
Well, she should show the tournament director, honestly.
She should show. Yeah. But what I'm saying is she should not, if she runs it, because then everybody's going, she's being a Karen because she's a woman in the sport. But if she doesn't, she just puts the video up there and don't say nothing, it'll go a lot more.
What she should do, she should give us the rights to it and let us do whatever we want with it.
Oh yeah, what rule is that? I like that rule.
Yeah, I'm down. I friended the guy on Facebook earlier today, so
well, I heard I was friends with him.
You are. You're a mutual friend with the young man.
Wait a minute, doesn't Jeremy Hughes live out that way?
It's not.
Oh yeah, drop a pin, baby.
I mean, just have him handle it.
Get them I's dotted and T's crossed for you one time for your $500 troubles.
My boy, right there. Huge shout out to the bodyguard, Jeremy Hughes. I know I'm never in danger when Jeremy Hughes.
That's right.
I saw him sitting over there at the table, and I couldn't catch him before he got out of there. I wanted to get up and say hey to Jeremy. And Vinny, I got one thing I want you to do before we get off here. Is Tim? He fishes the Queen City Club, correct?
Dude, my hero.
So Christine told me I didn't tune into the top 5 on the awards, and that's my fault. Tell us the story because she related to me, and it's awesome. I mean, it really is. It's awesome.
Yeah. So this is literally what started the tears. So he screwed me up, man. He's handling it better than I am. He's been a friend of mine and with Queen City for 9 years since day one. He's been in probably every championship. He is an absolute Carolina hammer. He doesn't travel. He doesn't do the big stuff like we all run around. But if he did, you'd know his name. He stays off Facebook. He stays to himself. He's got 3 kids. He's got a great job, great wife, lives right here in, I guess it's Lake Wiley, South Carolina, TGK, South Carolina. He starts talking to me the other day while I'm giving refunds because I had just announced that we weren't going to fish. And he comes up behind me and I'm giving refunds on the computer. And I'm like, who's talking to me right now? And he says something else. And I turn around and it was Tim. And I was like, Sabella, what's up, dude? And he starts talking to me again. And I'm like, Tim, what's up, man? What's going on? And he had a stroke 2 weeks ago. So he went from being just like one of us, the biggest talker you could be, and had a stroke, was in the hospital, I think he said, for 5 days, I want to say. I could be mistaken on that. Don't quote me on that. And he said he's full recovered minus his speech. So he's in speech therapy. He doesn't sound like the same old Tim we know, but that same sense of humor is there. You could see it. The first thing he said to me, I was like, oh, my God, I didn't know. And he's like, well, how would you know? And I was like, good point. So after that, he was like, I can still cast. I can still pedal. I'm good. I said, what are you doing here? And then not only does he crush it on the Queen City side, he gets on the big stage and, top, I think he was 7th place.
He stole the show. He stole the show.
5th or 6th place. I mean, 6th or 7th place. He was right there. And he said the same thing. And he said it even better on the Hobie stage. I can still jack him when I need to, I think he said. So I love Tim. I texted him tonight. A good picture of him and I came through. I know I don't make too many pictures look good, but it was me and him with the Queen City logo. And I just texted him and I said, I love you, dude. And you get me choked up now, but he's handling it better than I am. That's all I'm going to say.
That's awesome, man. Like, everybody's got plenty of excuses. Water bill was late or truck tires are too worn down. There's not an excuse too big, I don't know who else could have sat that one out and been more than justified in that. I mean, that's tough as a bag of hammers right there to go out there and wreck them on the big stage. That's awesome.
Who knows if he practiced? He wasn't even supposed to drive down there, so I hope his doctor's not watching.
Yes, sir.
So give a background on him because the first time I met him, I'm in an Outback. I was in an Outback at that time, and we leave a ramp over on Lake Wiley, and I'm paddling, and he's in a native, I believe it is. And and I'm thinking I'm in the fastest kayak out here. I'm paddling, and we're a mile into this paddle, and he's side by side with me, and I'm dying because I'm not in shape, and I'm over there breathing hard as I can, and I think we're going for the same spot. All of a sudden, he turns right, and I hit the brakes, and I said, "Oh, thank goodness he went the other way," and he crushed me. He crushed me in a native. I mean, this man is in shape to have the stroke. It was very unexpected.
We all say hull speed and drive speed, right? He breaks all those rules. He is just absolutely insane. He's probably 5'7", 150 soaking wet. And that old school slayer, I mean, it, native. He would push that thing like 6 miles an hour. And
I was going 5.6 that day.
I've never seen anything like it. So one day, I'm going to tell a funny story. One day I was on 70 plus inches, 4 fish, at this one spot, and it was just like this Santee spot. It was special, and you had to be there or you were going to lose. And I put in, and I'm at the ramp, and I see him in the water, and I immediately know he's going there. There's no other reason to be at this ramp unless you're going there. And I said, Tim, if we're racing, I'm just going to leave now. So just let me know. If you're going to let me sneak in behind you, I'll just get there when I get there. Dude, he took off. He said we could share the water. He took off 7 miles an hour in that old school slayer. We Googled him, and he was like an all-American cross-country athlete. So he's just like, and he's a beast. He's an absolute beast.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, when he turned the other way, I said, thank God. And my legs were burning so bad and I was like, I'm not ready for this. And that was my first year. It's like I wasn't ready. I'm like, I got to get in shape.
Chad thought all the kayak anglers were athletes. He was mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely. So my wife's the chubby chaser, so she keeps a little meat on my belly.
We're some kind of athletes. I don't know what it is. Like me and old Mark Pendergraph ran a pool table pretty good down there at the I-95 Bar and Grill.
Nice.
We ran the pool tables at the at Stump Hole Landing. We kept it most of the night. So.
Yeah, we kept fetching step, and we closed that place down with some money in our pockets on that one.
There you go. Anytime you want to play, buddy. Anytime you want to play.
Friday night. Nice. We had a couple of Queen City gentlemen join us. We had the entire nation of Canada out there with us. We got to meet Dave Cottrell's dad, Dave. He came out with us. We had a good little shindig out there.
Cool, man.
Good times.
Cool.
Hey, I had this picture in the queue. I was going to ask you about it, Chad, but now seems like the perfect time because
absolutely.
Right there. She's in the video with you.
Absolutely.
So
show them the one of me being an idiot out there because I'm not going to be a robot. It kills me when I watch these guys get on stage and they're on a script. Man, have fun up there. You don't get up there that much. Go out and even the people who's won a bunch, just have fun. I mean,
so your little girl's obviously not camera shy. What'd she think about being you being up there on the stage and catching that big
chick? She fell asleep on me.
Did she? She didn't care. Oh, we got family night here on
family night on KBN. First,
that's right. So
one
I'm
of one.
Family man first, businessman second, hobby of fishing third. So I do what I can do. So Mama lets me play, but I'm home every night. See, the whole week I left my house at 4:00. At 4:00 every morning. I drove up to Santee 2.5 hours. I fished until right at 3:00. I drove home and ate dinner with the family. Turned around, did it again. Didn't fish on Friday because I don't like sticking fish. Tournament week, I'm one of those guys that'll take the hooks off and really don't stick anything. I had a tournament that I ended up in 12th. I went to the spot, and that was the Yak and YOLO, and threw the wacky worm in there 2 times with no hook on it. Shook them off. I went to the tournament the next day. I caught those 2 fish in the same exact spot. So I wish a lot of people would quit sticking fish during tournament week. So just like Ryan had, I mean, wouldn't you like them 108 inches not to have been stuck in practice? I mean, what's y'all's take on it, honestly?
How do we go from family to that? You crazy.
I don't know.
What's your daughter think of it? No.
She fishes. She likes the weighty worm.
Well, I kept her here to just say this. When I told everybody I was going to slow down this year, she's the first one that said, why? Why? Exactly. She said, Daddy, go get it. And I was like, I'm heavily involved with her sports. I'm a PE teacher. I coach I'm the assistant coach on 2 of her softball teams. I'm the head coach of her football team, and she does Taekwondo. She's a first-degree black belt and a Southeastern black belt. So she's very busy, and I don't want to miss everything. So that's why it was bust or TOC. And she's proud. And she actually came to Chick with me the one time I went and sat on the dock and hung out. So maybe I'll have to bring her. I did okay that tournament. No TOC points. But
what's her name, Vinny? What's her name?
Ezzy.
Ezzy, can I ask you a question, Ezzy?
Oh, snap.
Is he a better fisherman or softball coach?
I'd say fisherman.
Hold on. We're undefeated in rec, and we got second in our first tournament yesterday. So, granted, I wasn't there, but that's okay.
Yeah, thank goodness he wasn't there. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's cool.
Thanks for being here. Love you.
Bye.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're pushing up on an hour. Ryan locked up. He was frozen there. He wasn't just being stoic. He was frozen there for a minute. Hopefully he jumps back in. Tonight is the national championship of college men's basketball. Who y'all got? Oh, go ahead, Vinny. There he is.
Can I go in director mode for 60 seconds?
Yeah.
I told you I was going to do it here. I just didn't think I'd come on as an angler.
All right.
I'm dropping one last native no limit.
Oh,
wait a minute.
The follow-up.
Let me put you on the big screen so I can make this a clip later.
All right, everybody who's watching KBN, we have the final installment of the Native No Limit series featuring the Big Bass Power Hour. We are going to go to Lake Fork in Texas on October 28th, 2023 to wrap up our 2023 season. So the 7th installment, Lake Fork, October 28th. And I was given permission to drop that big news tonight. So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, all right.
Is it Halloween themed, Vinny? Will it be Halloween themed?
Halloween themed, black and orange, baby.
All right. Amazing. Lake Fork. Ryan, you coming?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. All right.
I don't know. When did you say it was? October
28th.
Possibly. I don't know. I can't remember what the rest of the schedule looks like. I think I think October's pretty,
you know, we work,
pretty open, right?
We work around everything. So it should be free and clear.
Good stuff.
Deal. All right. Might as well. Never seen Fork. Might as well go check it out once, you know?
I will not be on site for that one. We're going to fly in Marv from Oregon, Marvin Forte. He's going to host that one.
All right.
There's Marv right there. There's Marv on YouTube.
There it is. Costumes encouraged.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, great show, guys. We don't want to keep it too long. Like I said before Ryan jumped back in here, it is national championship night. I'm a huge basketball fan, so I want to go watch that. Any basketball fans in here? Who y'all got tonight? I think UConn rolls easy tonight.
I would hope so. Surely. Goodness.
No basketball.
Don't make me feel better about them beating Arkansas like a drum.
I knew that's what your take was going to be. I knew that was your angle.
They're just good. They're just really good. Let's see here.
Okay. Can I say one more thing?
Well, yeah.
Just to poke at the big man.
Who's the big
Ryan?
man? Oh.
I didn't get to Ryan on this one.
Oh, who are we poking?
You. I didn't get to Ryan on this tournament. It was one day. It was one day.
Oh, he didn't get to act. He didn't get to put.
I got you.
That's brutal, man.
Yeah, it was rough.
Too soon? Too soon?
I mean, literally, that's all I've heard from anyone for the last week and a half.
But I figured I'd poke with you.
Just another drop in the bucket, buddy.
Yeah. And our boy Dylan was
but you know what? There's only about 4 other people on earth that can tweet me about this. So
no.
Y'all call me when you get there.
Yeah, our boy. I might be a one-hit wonder. You can call me one-hit wonder until I get another one. So go ahead. I take it as well as I get it. So give it, buddy.
Yeah, Ryan, I saw our boy Dylan was trying to use his day one deal mojo to his advantage, and that didn't work out either. So you never.
Well, Matt Millard pointed out it was still day 2.
That's right.
we just started on day 2, and turns out that is the Achilles heel.
Yeah, it's still day 2. But gentlemen, congratulations, well done. Congrats on the win. Congrats on making the TOC, Vinny.
Thank you.
And well done with your kids. You're obviously great family men, and that's obviously most important. So good stuff. You guys are awesome.
Jeff, I hope your
Ryan, thank you, buddy.
Yeah,
y'all take care.
Good job.
Good job at Santee. That was awesome. We are going to boot y'all and wrap up the show here.
See you later. Thank you, guys.
All right. See y'all.
There we go. Those guys are awesome. Great interviews there.
Hammered them.
Yeah. You know what that means, Ryan? We've got to do.
I think we do.
The giveaway.
Oh, okay.
How about Bangtail?
I like it. Let's do it. Let's get that name out there.
So everybody, hashtag Bangtail for a pack of Z-Man baits tonight. That's all you got to do. YouTube or Facebook, either one is eligible.
Do it.
Give you a minute. Yeah, I've been watching. Obviously, I'm a huge basketball fan. I've been watching all the games. UConn, I don't know how they lost 8 games this year. They've clearly been the best team in this tournament. So I'm curious to see how they do tonight.
It's been a wild one. It's been a wild one. I was kind of hoping the Owls were going to pull it out.
Yeah.
Hoot, son.
Yeah, they had it. They had it in their grasp, but San Diego State clipped them there. All them rebounds at the end. Man, I'm excited Vinny announced that tonight. Lake Fork.
Yeah.
Love me some Lake Fork.
I'd say
it's tough in the fall. It's kind of tough in the
really?
fall. But every place is tough.
I was going to say, I think everywhere is tough in the fall. That's why, with the chick announcement, that's great. But the fall still, the fall's still tough no matter what lake you're on, I feel like. That's a tricky thing. I mean, I think that needs to be a discussion point one night. These fall championships, like, would you rather see a slugfest spring championship or a grinder fall championship?
Right. Tough, and you've seen organizations move from one to the other. So I don't know. Hey, speaking of tournaments,
we got some jokes out here. Here on the side stage.
Oh yeah, these people got jokes. Bass registration ends this Friday, and registration is a little bit down for Hartwell, Ryan.
But it's the week of. Well, I think we'll talk about it after Friday.
Okay. Think we get a push? Think we get a late push?
I think so. I think so. We'll see.
I saw somebody put Kentucky Lake sucks in the comments. Speaking of sucks, maybe a new shirt. Maybe a new shirt coming down the pipe. We'll see.
I think we are. Joe Lee has got the "this lake sucks" kind of deal. I think it's KBN. We might add our own little spice on something similar. So be on the lookout probably this week.
All right, we're gonna do the giveaway right now.
Getaway. We're gonna do the getaway. We're gonna drop this hashtag and get out of here.
Who's gonna win it? I saw Johnny in the queue there. Josh Evans.
Josh, my boy. Get him some Z-Man stuff.
There you go.
I like
Josh.
it.
How about that? Way to go, Josh. Well done.
Love it. Another good one. We appreciate everybody tuning in. As always, y'all go check out our new sponsor, Bangtail Whiskey, and you're going to see a lot of interaction from Bangtail moving forward here. Not only with KBN, but with the fishing community. I think you're going to see them popping up in a lot of tournaments and stuff as well.
Good stuff. We're whiskey men now, Ryan.
We are.
All right.
I dread it.
All right, y'all.
We survived the vodka push.